Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today we got a request by Kevin11. Thank you so much. This is going to be Michael Schenker Group. The song is Cry for the Nations. And I've been exposed to some UFO. Exposed, that's kind of weird, you know, to a UFO. I've been exposed to UFO because of Duncan, you know, his marathons. Check them out. You can just, you know, pretty much search in the channel under UFO. There's some really cool reaction. There's some reactions with me and Alexia doing, Alexia and I doing some UFO reactions. And yes, like Kevin stated in the email that he sent to me, you know, I know that you're a Alcatraz fan. I love Alcatraz. I love the Yngwie Malmsteen Alcatraz a bit more than the Steve Vai. And then there was another guitar player, which I don't really remember. I know it's on the best of Alcatraz. But this album behind me right there, besides Alan Holdsworth, right there behind him, is Alcatraz, No Parole for Rock and Roll. That album, when I was listening to Rising Force and Yngwie Malmsteen, I loved it because it was basically listening to like Rainbow, but Yngwie Malmsteen on the guitar. It's amazing. It's like a 70s rock. If you don't know Alcatraz, check him out. But, well, we're going to listen to some Michael Schenker Group. This is from the Michael Schenker Group album. So this came out in 1980. I'm going to do the remaster just because I guess it's going to be louder. And Cry for the Nations. But yeah, again, Kevin11, thank you so much right there. Look at 1111. Thank you so much for sponsoring this song, and let's have some fun with this. So again, all you Scorpion fans, UFO, Michael Schenker, I hope you enjoy this, and all you metal guys. So let's go. Here we go. Okay. The bass. Okay. so good. I mean, this formula of rock is, I'm sorry, man. It's like one of the best, you know. I mean, this is, I get, yeah, it's very 80s, but it's just, it works so well. But it's also 70s. I mean, this sounds also like Rainbow. I don't know, like Deep Purple. Maybe Deep Purple is a bit heavier. I love but I love this softer version of heavy metal. Like, for example, Alcatraz, Scorpion. It's perfect examples because I remember like on Alcatraz, Island in the Sun, it starts off very soft with a great solo, but the chords and everything is kind of like not so heavy. It's not like, you know, it has that gallopy, the bass line, boom, 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 you know, and then the song, I mean, it's just very digestible. It's good. It's all about the solo in the middle, you know. It's very, very structured in a way that was very popular for the longest time, and everybody loved this style. I love that it starts out with some kind of intro. The intro was very tropical, almost like it threw me off because it was so light, and then it comes in, you know, with the rhythm, but the gallopiness, you know, of Iron Maiden, that Iron Maiden like took to the next level, I think. And you know, then we have the chorus, then we have a little section there like the bridge, when I was like, and then the solo. I love the solo. The solo's being played, and then you hear kind of like the chorus chords with the solo, so you can change it up, and then you get again another verse with the solo, and then you get the outro of the solo, and it's beautifully played. It's very melodical. It's very, just, it has a lot of feeling. It was about the solo in the end. I mean, not just, but it was very, very important. That was an essential piece of, you know, of the song. You know, how good is the solo in this? And oh my God, you know, like if you listen to epic songs like Highway Star, or, you know, I don't know, it's so cool. I love this style of music. It's so enjoyable, and thank you so much for this request. Like, it's just great. It's amazing, you know. And I wish there was still, you know, now, you know, there's a lot of great rock coming out, but it has like a different kind of like feel. It's like, it's very low, you know. It's very because, you know, most of the bands nowadays use 7-8 string guitars, so it doesn't have that, and it's not so much about the solo anymore, you know. This was just a different time. Very, very enjoyable, you know, this music. I love Judas Priest because of this. It has this sound. I love Iron Maiden. There's some other bands, you know, like Halloween, which is a little bit more power metal, you know, and but, you know, the classics, you know, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. Metallica is a different style. It's more thrash, but there's Manowar, that's great. I mean, yeah, the list goes on. I just have a mental block right now. But yeah, definitely great stuff. So let me go back just a little bit, and let's enjoy. And most of the time right now, it's just going to be, the outro is going to be just a repetition of the chorus. And that was the style of writing music for a long time. And it just worked really well. So let's see. Wow, man. This guy, man, I love Michael Schenker's style, man. Like this is completely new to me. I mean, I know I've heard so many guitar players that are in that, vicinity of playing, but it's always nice to hear somebody who does it a little bit different, like I mean, we have, man, there's so many guitar players that I love, but from this era, like I guess, Adrian Smith is one of my favorites, and he is in Iron Maiden, but I mean, his solos are just so structured. They're so smartly constructed, and they're so effective, every solo hits you like, wow, that was interesting. That was just so original, and I don't know. Then Yngwie Malmsteen, of course, he's a little bit more repetitious, but he's so original, especially his first album, like that one. I think it was nominated for a Grammy, the Rising Force, an instrumental. It does have two songs with lyrics, but mostly instrumental. And I mean, that playing was just out of this world, And then Alcatraz before that, and Steeler before that, And but there's people like, Glenn Tipton from Judas Priest. They were just like innovators, of that style after people like Hendrix and Clapton and Jimmy Page. They just took it to the next level. They were like just faster, had more technique without being just boring, without like, because then it becomes the shredder that's just like that's also not, it's kind of like cool and it's fascinating, but after two songs you're like, well, I'm done now, because it's just not, it doesn't have that character that like that you hear in other bands. I just this rediscovered Motorhead. I had a Motorhead shirt for like the longest time, but it was so hard to get Motorhead. It was impossible to buy these records in Mexico. And then when we got into like, when we could finally download music, then I was already interested in other stuff. I was kind of like growing out of my metal phase, out of my rock phase. I was only interested in jazz and jazz fusion at that time. Yes, and in prog, but progressive metal. I was doing Dream Theater and Chant, Shadow Gallery, all these Liquid Tension, Spastic Inc., Ron Jar Zombek. That's why there's a lot of people are like, you guys are fake. It's impossible that you don't know this music. But we did grow up in a different era, and we also grew up in a different country. And Alexia, for example, she wasn't exposed to that kind of music. Her dad is a jazz guy and who would listen to Journey and Boston, and there is no Metallica, there is no Iron Maiden. That is way too heavy for him. And my parents, they listened to like the Moody Blues, Pink Floyd. I asked my mom, a couple of weeks ago, like, you never heard Steely Dan? And she's like, no, like I don't even know who they are. And then I played, when we were in Spain, I played her Steely Dan, I played her Genesis, I played her all kinds of stuff. She had never heard of them. But she showed me stuff like Renaissance, Pink Floyd, the Moody Blues, Dire Straits. So I learned a lot, but there's a lot that was missing because my parents were not like these crazy music listeners, because they worked in the music business so long, 20 years, having a discotheque and having to listen to music all night at full, like I don't know how many decimals to destroy your ears. You're just like, you're done with music after that. So they listen to music, but they listen to Bob Marley, the Gypsy Kings, So there was a lot of stuff that I missed out on just by default. And living in Mexico, they playing the same shit on the radio still to this day that I heard when I was literally a child. The same freaking music, the same hits. The time is just still in Puerto Vallarta. If you move to Mexico City or somewhere, yeah, it's different. Everybody knows everything. But if you live in a little town, it's like living on Maui, I mean, although I don't know if that's a good comparison, because I'm sure they had Tower Records and stuff like that. But in Mexico, from moving to Munich in Germany to Mexico, it was like going back in time 30 years. That's what my mom told me when we arrived there. And I was like, she told me, yeah, I feel like I lived 30 years in the past, you know? And yes, that's what that was like. So it was just really tough. And it was always it was so cool to find new music, but we weren't bombarded with it. We were like, okay, we discovered Metallica, let's listen to that for the next 2 years. We didn't be like, oh, now there's Rainbow, here's Deep Purple, here's Led Zeppelin, here's like all the stuff that you got exposed to like rapid fire. You like, there's a new album out and this is new album, and there's like 2 bands that are going to release their new album this year, and you all heard that year. That's not how we had it. It was just different, you know? So for me, having this channel is obviously an amazing feat, because for real, like, I don't know this music, you know? And I mean, and now, today I saw someone, you know, comment, and it's like, you guys, I mean, with all this music that's available, why are you not just listening to it? And I'm like, dude, like, we're doing a reaction channel. If I listen to everything that I like, if I just go through Michael Schenker Group right now, then what I'm going to react to, you know, that's the kind of like the curse of having a reaction channel, because you basically, and we've mentioned this at least 50 times by now, you basically are limiting yourself to just deep diving into what you know, what you now know. So the only thing we did was we listened to Asia off camera, and then it was like, please react to Asia, and we're like, well, we already did Asia, and then 1,000 times, why don't you do this song from Asia? And we're like, we already did it, you know? So that's when we said like, oh, I guess we have to kind of like pull back and not listen to everything that's available, because now we have, you know, a channel, and it's basically, we can't just listen to everything and then say, oh yeah, I've never heard this before. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to lie to people. So it's like a double-edged kind of sword, you know? Yeah, I guess that's what I think, you know? Not really a double-edged sword, but it's like, it's amazing to have the channel, and we're discovering all this, but it's way slower. But I mean, even when we didn't have the channel, we were stuck on just 1 or 2 bands that we're listening to. Now that we're getting exposed, I don't think would just listen to an entire album. Yesterday, I listened to A Trick of the Tail when I picked up Alexia from the airport, and it was just amazing to be able to listen to the full album. But yeah, it took some time to get there and be able to just listen to it in one go. It was so enjoyable. Okay, I guess I'm, you know, I made this video way too long, but I hope you enjoyed, you know, because if I make a reaction, I also want to tell something about what I feel, what I'm going through, what I feel when I listen to this music. It's not just like, oh, this song was great, thank you, bye, you know. That's not how we do things here. And yeah, some people don't enjoy that at all, that we talk so much, but we honestly love it. So again, if people like the channel, thank you so much, because that's who we are and that's our style, and I don't think we will change. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed. Kevin, thank you so much for choosing this track. This was amazing. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one.